Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the North American Bear Center on this rainy, kind of chilly and even windy afternoon, and it's been kind of chilly and windy all day long. Why do I give a weather forecast? Well, this is a worldwide broadcast. It's about 55 degrees, light rain, drizzle. It's been that way all day. The forecast is same for tomorrow, so cooler weather, and I see Holly Bear coming from the tree line. Holly Bear is on her way. I saw her in the tree line. I'm not sure I lost her. Well, we do have Lucky Bear. Here comes Holly on the run. Holly's going to come from the rock den. I saw her. I see some bushes rustling, and she stopped and she's wondering, here she comes over the rock den, I think. Sounds like a horse race, doesn't it? Well, good afternoon, everybody. We have both of our bears down here. And we have Lucky Bear, the larger of the two, on the scale. And that's his preference. That's that three-sided box. The Lucky Bear is our 8-year-old neutered male. And he prefers to have dinner right there. And Holly Bear was the last one coming. I was giving you a narration of her coming through the woods there. And I could see the bushes move, but I couldn't see her, nor could I hear her. Well, welcome, everybody, and it's really nice. We've had, for those of you, our worldwide podcast, we've really had a lot of families and children here today on this kind of not too nice of a day to be outside. We're always happy to have families, children, and grandchildren because we are, as many of you know, we are an educational facility. Our goal here at the Bear Center is to dispel a lot of myths and misperceptions you may have about black bears, that they are really shy and timid animals. They forage. They're not man-eating killers, as many of you may think. Well, let's talk about the two bears here. Lucky Bear is sitting in that, or standing, in the three-sided box. And he is eating his dinner right there, one of his favorite places. He is an 8-year-old male, and he was born of a wild mother from the state of Wisconsin. He was born in January of 2007. And he was found wandering, and he was taken to a rehab facility as an orphan cub. They deemed him non-releasable, and we were fortunate enough to get Lucky in July of 2007. He was a 7-month-old cub and approximately 20 pounds. Well, right now he's a handsome 8-year-old male at about 420 pounds. Lucky's extremely curious, obviously very intelligent, just like black bears really are. They do simple problem solving with ease, and he has developed a friendship with the other bear out, little Holly Bear. And we'll talk a little bit about Holly Bear. She was the one that came from the woods there, and as you may have already guessed, they do know their names. But sometimes, like children, they may or may not show up even though we call them. Holly Bear is our 2-year-old. She's on that cedar pile right now, and they gave her what we call her dinner bag. It's nothing more than a paper bag that you would maybe get at a grocery store. But she will grab it, and she loves to just rip it apart very quickly. And why do we do that? Well, it just shows you problem solving. It shows you that they can use their front claws for strength or to be gentle. Holly Bear, being a 2-year-old female, she came to us from the state of Arkansas. Like Lucky Bear, Holly was born of a wild mother, but separated from her mother due to a wildfire. A family saw her wandering around, and they took her in to a family environment. And, they meant well, but you really don't want to take an orphan cub into a family environment. the authorities took her and sent her to the Appalachia Bear Rescue Facility where they deemed her non-releasable. When bears go to rehab facilities and are deemed non-releasable, there's very few options for them. One is euthanasia, and the other is to find a forever home. We became Holly's forever home in December of 2013. People always ask, how do our bears get their names? Well, Lucky was pretty close to euthanasia in 2007, and we said we would take him as a forever home. So Lucky was really lucky that we took him, and we were lucky to have him. That's how Lucky gets his name. And Holly Bear, as I said, she came to us in December of 2013 during the holiday season, and she is also named after the holly berry, which is a bear food. Now this is dinner time for our bears, and the black bears are omnivores. I get asked a lot, well, how much meat do you feed your bears on a daily basis? Well, we don't feed them meat. That would be reminiscent of a carnivore, and black bears are omnivores. Now, what is an omnivore? What does that mean? Well, it means they eat fruits, nuts, vegetation, berries as their mainstay. Approximately only 10% of a black bear's diet really consists of protein, and that protein in the wild for wild bears comes from ant larvae, beehives, the immature bees. Those are the two primary sources of protein for a black bear in the wild. Here at the Bear Center, our bears get their protein out of a variety of nuts as well as raw eggs. I always get asked about the raw egg question. They say, well, how do you give a bear a raw egg? Well, you take it from the grocery store. You just buy your raw eggs, and you give them the egg right in the shell. They gently take it in their mouth without breaking the shell. They'll put it down on the ground. Then in Lucky's case, and that's the bear on the far right, in Lucky's case, he's got a habit of just putting his paw gently on the egg, very gently, and just pushing his paw down very gently, just enough to crack the egg shell. And when the eggshell cracks just in a couple pieces, he has created himself a natural bowl to lick out the yolk and the egg white inside. Do they eat the shell? Usually not. But they do know that brute force isn't the answer to how to eat a raw egg. In the 2.5 acres here of our bears, we have natural woods. We have our pond that you can see right in front of you with the waterfalls and some of the man-made features around it. But once they hit the tree line, it is all solid woods. And on miserable days, although today isn't miserable, but if it was raining really, really hard or very, very windy, it's more of a challenge to get our bears out. And I'll talk about why a very windy day causes bears problems. On a windy day, it causes the bears to be very concerned about their surroundings. When it's windy, the leaves and the branches swish and make noise, and the rustle of all the leaves in the bushes make them nervous. So in a very, very windy day, bears are always on alert, their ears are perked, and they're usually looking left or right, and because it all sounds like danger to them. So on a windy day, they tend to be quite skittish and are always looking for danger. What do black bears do when it's raining? Well, today has just been a light mist, but I can tell you what Holly does. I've seen her do it on a number of occasions on heavy rains that we've had here recently in Ely, Minnesota. She demonstrated this behavior last year, and she has continued this year. Holly Bear She will climb the white pine on the far left of the enclosure, and that's the tallest tree on the left with the forked top that is dead. She will climb that tree about 20 to 30 feet up, hang on a branch, take a nap, and ride out the heavy rain. That's what Holly Bear does. Lucky Bear does a couple other things. There's a lot of lightning and thunder. Lucky will go into one of the man-made dens. If it's just a moderately heavy rain and not much lightning and thunder, Lucky tends to find one of his day beds, which is under some balsam trees, and he hunkers down there waiting for the rain to end. We have a lot of exhibits here at the Northwoods Ecology Exhibit Hall that do not include bears, and that exhibit hall has been open for 1 month. I would encourage you to take a visit down to the exhibit hall. That's Mr. Moose there on the snow scene. We have snakes, turtles, frogs, local fish, and interactive touchscreens to give you information about the other animals here in the Ely area. Lucky Bear, which is the bear on the far right, was doing what we call a big bear, and he was standing on his hind legs. And we don't do that for tricks, but we do that for our veterinary purposes as well as our purposes to see their underside. If we have a need to see that portion of the animal's body, it is a way that they can display that to us and get a treat as well. It also gives you an idea how tall they are when they stand on their 2 legs. Yes, they can balance on those 2 legs. And in Lucky's case, he's about 6 foot tall when he does that. If you're thinking of visiting the North American Bear Center after today, you might consider a membership. They are quite affordable at various ranges from an individual, student, grandparent, or parents. Visit our gift shop and one of our sales associates, and they can give you the lowdown on our membership. And we are also offering a free gift with memberships as well. Memberships give you access to the Bear Center for a full year. It also gives you 10% off our gift shop, as well as 10% for online purchases as well. And it doesn't matter where you're from, we will ship worldwide. If you're interested in other wildlife today, I would recommend that you go down to the International Wolf Center, about 2 to 3 miles the other side of town. They're open daily, and they have a pack of wolves, ambassador wolves, that you can see and learn about because they do have daily programs as well. On a final note, we one of our interns, Andie, today was her last day today, and her last broadcast was earlier today. I want to take this opportunity to thank Andie publicly for all her work here in 2015 as one of our 4 interns, bear educators, and she did a fabulous job not only on the mic, but also in all aspects of bear care, as well as visiting with our groups, families, and in the exhibit hall as well. We wish her well in her further career as a biology major, and hope that we stay in touch. Andie, we hope you stay in touch with us in the future and follow the lives of Ted, Lucky, Honey, and Holly. Well, it looks like Lucky and Holly have taken off toward the far right, and I suspect they'll be back. They're looking for maybe a little bit more food. And I want to thank all of you here at the Bear Center for joining us today. We are open until 6, so feel free to browse the exhibit hall and ask questions of any of us that have a red vest. Thank you very much.